Scott. Ask Scott.
Hey Scott, my name is Jake Bass. I'm calling you from my morning commute to work right now. I just wanted to call in and let you know that I appreciate everything that you do. So does the TAS community. We are all grateful for the information that you provide us. I've been a long-time listener. I'm finally sourced a product, and it's being shipped into the United States from China right now. My main question is, with the current political situation that the United States is in and the possible trade deals being changed or modified, are you concerned at all about sourcing from China? And if so, are you looking into alternative options about sourcing from the United States? I'm sure everybody pretty much inside of the TAS community would love to source from the United States, but pricing is a valid concern, and even selection. So I wanted to see if you had any recommendations, or if that was in your future plans, and if so, what the steps you're planning on taking to source from the United States is going to be. If you could answer my question, I would be very grateful, and keep on pressing on, man. I love your show, and I'm going to continue listening to it. Have a good one, Scott.
Hey, Jake, thank you so much for the question on the morning commute. Man, the morning commute. I hope that it's a decent commute for you. And I'm glad that I'm able to help you with that journey by putting out some of this content for you to consume while you're going to work. I'm not sure if you love your job. Some people do still love their job. I know myself, it was really hard for me, and they didn't have podcasts and stuff when I was getting into the online world, or even my brick and mortar business in the beginning. Like, podcasts weren't even really a thing. So I can't even imagine how distracted, in a sense, I would be going to work and thinking about, I have to go to work, focus on what I'm hired to do, but then in the back of my mind, I got all of these other things I'm thinking about that I want to work on as soon as I get out of here. Like, the minute I get out of here, like I gotta start working on this stuff. So anyway, hopefully it's a good drive. Hopefully you still enjoy your job a little. And so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But hey, thanks so much for the question. Okay, so I've had this question, when the whole politics thing started, and the whole election was happening and all of that stuff, and the big thing was Trump is going to be slapping importers with this humongous tax and all of that stuff. And what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do, Scott? Are you just going to stop now? Are you going to stop private labeling? Are you going to stop physical products? Or what are you going to do? Are you going to stop? And the answer is no, I'm not going to stop. Am I really thinking that far down the line? Not really. So many things can change. If we sit here and we think about everything that could happen, we'll never do anything. Never. So I'm still looking at products in China. I'm still sourcing products in China. I'm still selling products that we get from China. And if that happens, it happens, and then we'll deal with it. The worst case is we're going to pay more money for our products, so we better have good margins. And then we'll probably have to then consider U.S. suppliers and say, can we work with them? At that point, maybe we have a good volume going that we say to a U.S. supplier, listen, we order 5,000 units a month of these. What can you do for us? Maybe it works out to our favor. I don't know. But I will say this. If all we do is sit here and think about what's going to happen or what could happen, Amazon just came out with another update about their reviews, right? Well, I'm sorry, not about reviews, about follow-up. They did reviews a little while back. That was a big thing, right? And now all of a sudden it's like with the follow-up emails, like they're giving the customer a way for them to stop getting your emails. Oh no, now what do we do? Do we stop? Is it over? Are we able to, still, reach our customers some way? Yeah, there's still ways, you're still going to follow up. As of right now, you can still send emails, through your Amazon account, as you always could. It's just, they have the option to opt out, which I don't think is a bad thing. Because if you're hitting them over the head every day with an email to buy another product, I actually had someone reach out to me and say, Scott, can I email through Amazon all of my past customers and let them know of a new product that I have coming out? And the answer is no. Like, that's what they're saying. If you're following up with them on a recent purchase and you're making sure that they are happy and that they're satisfied and you're giving them extra value, they're not going to care. I mean, they're just not going to. Yeah, you're going to get a handful that are like, you know what, I don't want to hear from this company. I just bought from you. I don't want to keep hearing from you. You're just going to get those cranky people, and that's okay. We don't want those people on our list anyway. So, it's just a way for them to be able to unsubscribe. So it's not a big deal. All right. And I know that's not your question, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of changes that are going to happen. There's more changes coming, guys. I'm telling you that right now. Amazon is going to do other changes as more sellers come in, as they get bigger, as they get more traffic, as things happen, things evolve, they're going to change things. And guess what? Google's going to change things too. They're going to change the way that they rank websites. Guess what? Facebook, they're going to change their ad platform again. And they're going to change, how we get to communicate with people on Facebook. And guess what? Instagram's going to change. Like, there's always going to be changes. The other thing that's going to happen here, I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to predict this. If you're in a local area or your local area and there's a coffee shop there, mom and pop, I can guarantee you that there's going to be another coffee shop within probably 5 miles launched or opened, and that person is going to be devastated because now they have competition, more competition. I mean, I remember with my father's business going back in the construction days where there was a Lowe's that was getting ready to build about a mile down the road from us, 1 mile. Now you would say, well, okay, that's just building supply materials. No, they started offering installation services. Oh my gosh, we had a meeting and we brought everyone in and we're like, we got to step up our game. We got to focus more on customer service. We got to offer, lifetime warranty with free exchange and like all of these different things. We started to panic because Lowe's was coming in. But you know what? It didn't really hurt our business. If anything, people came to us because they didn't want to deal with a big major company. Yes, some people did still. They went there because it was cheaper. But you always have people too that still want to get service. They still want to know who they're communicating with. That's just like our photography business. Like, we could have grew that bigger without myself and my wife being a part of, the picture taking, but then we would have lost the personal touch, right? You could have Sears, who I don't even know if they still do photography, but people would go there and get their package that they would advertise, get one pose, but you'd get 100 different pictures in this little package for like $15. We were still selling ours for over $150, and we had people coming in every single day, right? So my point is this, and I know that I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I think it's necessary. Don't sit there and think to yourself, I just heard something's going to happen, so should I not do anything? The answer is, if you feel like you're going to be thinking like this all the time and you can't get past it, then being an entrepreneur is not for you, period. If you are going to be dwelling and thinking about this stuff day in and day out, it's not the right business for you. But let me ask you this. Like, you're driving to work right now, maybe, okay? And you're thinking to yourself, this is a slam dunk. I'm going to work. I'm going to get paid next week. You know how many people have been let go at the end of that week? There's been a lot of people that go to work that morning and they find out at the end of the day that they no longer have a job after the next 2 weeks, or they're downsizing. Like, that's happened all the time to people, right? It's been happening for years. So there's things that are going to happen. This Trump thing, I have no idea if it's going to happen. Do you know how many things it has to go through? You know how many channels it has to go through to get approved? Everyone thinks that, Trump came in and all of a sudden, everything he says he's going to do is going to happen. We all know that that's not the truth. He can just voice his opinion, or he can say, this is what I want to do. Start the bill. And it's got to be passed. It's got to be voted on. Like, it's not just his decision. He's the driving force, yes, but it's just him giving, this is what I want to do, and he's going to get his team behind it. But then it's got to be voted on, by Congress and whatever other channels it has to go through. But so many people think just because he said it, it's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It might happen. And you know what? If it happens, it happens. Then I'll deal with it. But I'm not worrying about dealing with something that I have no control over right now. And I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. Like, it's just not going to happen. So anyway, I'm sorry for the tangent. I think it was necessary. And, I just feel very strongly about change and pivoting. And it's been happening for me, since I started out of high school working for my father and seeing all the changes in that business, and then going into photography and then being in that business and seeing all the changes there, and then building websites and getting them ranked, and then seeing Google change things, and then we lose our rankings. I've seen all this stuff happen. Facebook ads, like I was running Facebook ads for my photography business, then they made changes, and then all of a sudden it was harder. And all of a sudden, what? Do you stop running ads? No, you just adapt. That's it. You're just adapting and pivoting and not thinking too far ahead, because things are going to change. So you heard it here first. Things are going to change. All right. And you're going to have to adjust. It's just the way it works. All right. So guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. I got a little fired up there at the end, but I think it was necessary. And I hope you guys got some value from that. And hopefully it sets your mind at ease, or it lets you say to yourself, maybe this isn't for me, and if that's the case, I want to be that voice for you too, to let you know that it's not all rosy. Like, there's not always going to be, this awesome part of the journey going through this entrepreneurship. It's not. Like, there's ups and downs through anything. You've always, heard people say, grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. And I believe that. Like, you think it might be until you get there. Then you're like, you start complaining. And then, think about it. How many times have you done that? You probably said the exact same thing. You're like, man, if I could just do that, my life would be perfect. And then you go ahead and you do it and you get it. And you're like, you start complaining about that thing, and it's just a matter of time. So just think about that. Every time you're thinking about complaining, think about it for a second and ask yourself, is it really worth complaining? And are you thinking too far down the line? Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.